This is Catherine Isabel, and you're listening to the Knife Party podcast. I hope you enjoy it, because I don't.
Groovy. Hello. Welcome to another edition of the Knife Party podcast, where you lit all on the cutting room floor. I'm, of course, your illustrious host, Zach Evergreen. And join with me today, my spirit animal, Nikki Noe. Nikki, what's going on?
Not a whole bunch.
I'm
ready to talk about this movie.
Cool. I'm glad you're ready to talk about it. I'm just going to bump you up just a little bit. And why I do that, I'm going to read some ads. Captain Cork on the borderlands of Vallejo, California and American Canyon, California, which is in Napa Valley, is where you go for all your delicious microbrew and cider needs. I am drinking a Radium West Coast IPA that I would have never found if it wasn't for Captain Cork. And you know how they got that ad? Because they are Patreons. Patreon's only $5 a month, and that's at patreon.com/knifepartypod. You not only get this show, you get Knife Party After Dark. That's where I get intoxicated and talk to people on X. It usually doesn't work out well. I also have another great show called Midnight Ramen that we have resurrected from the ashes. I'm going to be doing one episode each week. It's my retro video game and new video game, but mainly retro. My collection is mainly retro. And I even talk about all the BS politics going on with the PS store and everything else like that. And I've been warning you guys about that for years now. So be like me and get your hard copies. I just spent way too much on Amazon, but you know, if they're going to take them away and I already bought them, at least I'm getting them on Amazon for $30. But anyway, we talk about that on Midnight Ramen. We have another show called Slimek Radio, which is a bunch of shock jockery from the early 2000s, but done today. It's a lot of fun. We talk about our poops sometimes. But here, you're here for retro, sci-fi, and cult horror movies, usually from the 80s and 90s. But today, we're watching a very, very recent release. I was going to do it on the Friday release day, but life got in the way. So I'm doing it on Wednesday, which is our normal drop day anyway. We're talking Evil Dead Burn. And boy, is it a lot of fun. We're going to get into that in just a second. Real quick, I got to shout out my new favorite podcast. And actually, he's been on the show. He did the Le Pacte des Wolves, or Brotherhood of the Wolf episode with me. Theodore Alexander has a new podcast called Threads of History. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like 10 to 15 minute history lessons on clothing, and it's quite interesting. And the guy's got a great voice. I mean, I thought I had a radio voice. Dude, this guy, like, you think it's AI when you hear him talk. And he's sexy as hell, too. And he's got a mustache, you know, one of those curly ones, like he's going to tie you up to, like, train tracks. So go check him out. Of course, go check out Jonathan Fallen at Hoodcast AF if you like collectibles. And I got all my ads done before the music is... That never happens. Wow. Oh, yeah. Hit me up on X at Father Heel spelled like your foot. And I always broadcast at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesdays because I made a commitment to you guys. Oh, and one last thing. Your t-shirts will be, actually long sleeves of our Season 5 shirts will be ordered on September the 1st. So that means if you're not a Patreon, get that now because $5 get you the shirt. And that's all my ads. I got them all in. Whew. That was good. It's like a professional or something, right? Wow.
Something like that.
All right. So because of YouTube and everything else, I know we used to play trailers and clips of the movie we're talking about, but we're trying to, now that we, by the way, congratulations to all of us. And that includes you, Nikki. We just hit 10,000 downloads.
Hell yeah.
We just hit it. And I mean, like today just hit it. So this is a very monumental day. Pop the champagne. I never thought we'd get 10,000. I mean, we've been at it for 4 years, and I mean, those first year, that was clunky, man. It was only Patreon listens, almost no listens. Right now, our number 2 demographic is Japan. Shout out Japan. And my number 3 demographic is Singapore. Shout out Singapore. Keep spreading the love. Thank you so much for listening. And by the way, they're not VPNs, I could tell. I have the technology. Okay, let's get into it. Nikki, you saw this opening day.
Yes, I did.
You called me, and I didn't answer the phone on purpose because I knew I was like, fuck that. I don't, oops, I cursed. Sorry. But I didn't want to, so that just got about us pulled off YouTube, hopefully not, but maybe. What would you give it, like, before we even review it? What's your number? What's your Rotten Tomatoes score? I don't want to influence your score, but I'm giving this a 92, and I'll tell you why. But
All right, tell me.
Okay, there's not a bad Evil Dead movie in the bunch, is there not? They're all good, right?
Correct.
Even like Army of Darkness, which some people say isn't canon, but it is canon. You know, clearly it's canon, but it is more.
Can't be canon.
I know, but a lot of people go, well, it doesn't have the title Evil Dead, and it's basically like, you know, just a spin-off. It's like, no, it's not. It's part of it.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that even means the Jason movies are canon, because remember, we discussed this. Jason Voorhees is in fact a Deadite.
I remember this.
But the Jason movies, there's only like 2 good ones, unless you include Freddy vs. Jason. Then there's only 3 good ones. Evil Dead, all of them are good. Like the lowest one I would give would be Evil Dead 1, and I would give that a solid 79. Just because it's low budget and it's, you know, it's not what today's standards are cracked up to be. But still really like the original. Number 2, of course, is a powerhouse of comedy and gore and just changed the industry totally. It made cult movies like it probably, if anyone's starting their horror movie collection, Evil Dead is probably the first, or within the first 5 movies someone buys, right? It's like Evil Dead 2 is just so beloved. Then we have Evil Dead 13. I love Evil Dead 13. I think it's probably still my favorite. And then we have Evil Dead Rise, and Evil Dead Rise is quite good as well. You know, I think Evil Dead Rise is probably the most rewatchable besides Evil Dead 2. But this movie actually gave way more history to, it's not just they find a book and stuff happens. No, this actually gives a history to what is, you know, the wise men that we learned about in Evil Dead Rise. And I don't know if you remember in Evil Dead Rise, Nikki, but there's a scene when the kid's playing the record and you hear someone yell, "Don't read from the book. It is cursed." That's actually...
Nope. I remember.
Okay.
I know.
That is Bruce Campbell time traveling, telling them not to do it. I don't know if you knew that.
I did, actually.
Okay, good. So anyway, I have a feeling that in this movie, the grandfather is a time traveling Ash. That's my theory. Because it would make sense for him to track all that stuff down. And also they have that dagger. Remember, it's not the actual dagger, but they show the spine dagger in the collection of stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the different Kandarian daggers.
Exactly. But that was in Ash's possession, at least in Evil Dead 2. Because, I mean, yeah.
That dagger goes into the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's throughout the whole thing. So that's what I mean. That I think that because if they're establishing that Ash is actually a time traveler, who's to say that he's not actually the grandfather, which actually would add up, right? I mean, just saying, film theory.
Yeah, I mean, considering when the TV series ended, without the ending for the series taking part, you could argue that yes, he could have been the grandfather who then dipped.
Well, no, because in the series he doesn't have a family. Remember, he lives in the trailer by himself. So it would totally add up if he had a family and then, like you said, just like dipped out. Yeah, exactly. Because I've seen the first season of Ash vs. Evil Dead. I never finished it. I am going to get it one of these days, I swear, on DVD and actually sit down and commit to all of them. But it would make sense that he's the dead, because they kind of make him out to be a deadbeat in a way, you know, and that totally is Ash's forte, is being kind of like the deadbeat reluctant hero. So anyway, I thought this was better than Evil Dead Rise.
So did I.
I liked it as much as Evil Dead 13. I like Evil Dead 13 better, though, because it's just my favorite of the series, and it's just and But man, do they up the gore up in this. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert, there's going to be a lot of spoilers. We're going to actually do a little walkthrough of this movie and talk about our favorite scenes. This movie is probably one of the goriest movies I've ever seen done right. Because I've seen gorier movies, but it's totally fake and it looks stupid. And I mean, we just did Blood Diner. That's coming out next week, guys. It's pre-recorded, but yeah, it's coming out next week. That movie is very, very gory, but it's silly. This movie, the gore is real. Like, let's just talk about that makeout scene. Holy God. When you see all the teeth and ligaments and ligatures and all that stuff on that makeout scene at the window seal, whew, I mean, we just had In-N-Out Burger, and I didn't feel it coming up, but I felt it rumbling.
Yeah, you definitely don't want, ideally, to see this movie on a full stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, don't plan to eat ribs afterward either. You know what I mean? I ate we barbecued yesterday, and I grabbed a leftover piece of chicken. I took 2 bites. I'm like, maybe I should wait a little bit because, the sound of my teeth going through the chicken kind of, anyway. So why did this movie get some heat? Because it has some heat. Not in a good heat. I think it might be the gore. So I'm just going over the modern Evil Deads we've had recently, okay? So, Evil Dead 13, I always call it that because it came out in 2013. The Maya Evil Dead is what people call it. It got 64 tomatoes and popcorn meter, which I think is criminally low. And I think people were mad because there was no Bruce, even though there wasn't supposed to be Bruce. It was supposed to be a remake or a retelling of the story. And I think they did a great job of it.
You could argue, was it also just an AU?
Yeah, you could. And because of Army of Darkness, that would make sense for AUs to happen, right? I mean,
very much so.
Because Ash changed so much stuff in the past, even though it's foretold in the second one, it doesn't mean he didn't do it right the first time or did it wrong the second time or whatnot, so it does.
Ash has a bad habit of
recreating history in a bad way.
Making more mess as he leaves.
Yeah, it's kind of like cleaning the house with a flamethrower, It's like, well, the house is clean, but the house is destroyed now. So, and that's kind of what he does with timelines, I mean, like he would use a chainsaw to cut a birthday cake, no pun intended. So yeah, anyway, for whatever reason though, Evil Dead Rise got an 85 on the tomato meter and a 76, which I think 85 is very fair for Evil Dead Rise. I think I gave it in the high 80s. I think I gave it an 88, but and I've probably rewatched Evil Dead Rise more than any Evil Dead movie besides number 2. I've probably seen it more than Army of Darkness because I really just like that movie. If someone were to come over to my house and they said, I've never seen that movie, the first thing I do is just throw it on and be like, dude, let's hang out, let's have some beers. You got to watch this movie. It's great.
Amber actually tried to introduce Kara to the Evil Dead franchise.
With Evil Dead Rise?
But no.
Oh, okay.
But she started with Evil Dead and not Army of Darkness.
Yeah, I would argue if you're going to watch the Evil Dead series, start with Army of Darkness and then go back to Evil Dead 2. Right? I mean, that's kind of chronological order, if you will. I mean,
if you want to do a hatchet job with it, yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Because you could honestly watch all of Army of Darkness, then do 2, and then rewatch Army of Darkness.
Yeah, you're right. The actual probably way to watch it is, if you have the time, is watch 1, 2, and Army of Darkness, and then the next day watch 13, Rise and Burn. Because in a way, you're right. They are all alternate universes, but they're still connected. There's still some ligature there connecting everything. Oh, we said ligature twice in the same podcast. There's still some connective tissue there to both the series, but they are almost standalone. I'm not going to, and also too, so we got kicked out of the theater, meaning they turned up the lights. So we saw the mid post credit scene, but spoilers, we didn't see the end scene because apparently Mommy from Evil Dead Rise comes out at the end of Evil Dead Burn. Am I mistaken on that? We didn't get to see it.
Such a shame on that.
Yeah.
What happens is the daughter is not from Evil Dead Rise, but the daughter of this funeral home owner is showing the daughter what all was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you see some cremation urns.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Random person, Ellie Bishop.
Ooh.
Well, the daughter shakes the urn, hears something, and then looks in the mirror.
Got it. Ah, damn.
Sees mom, goes to touch the mirror, and then, normal mirror. Then daughter turns around, snap, mommy's back.
Awesome. So I like how they're connecting them all, though. Like they're giving us breadcrumbs of what they're going to do. So we have another Evil Dead movie coming out in a year and a half, 18 months from now, something like that.
Wasn't it 2028 if I remember right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 18 months, I think, is when it's coming out. So I don't know if it's going to wrap it all in a bow, because now this movie gave us more lore about there's a way Deadites can be stopped without dismembering or burning them. Actually, burning them, we find out, doesn't actually work like we previously thought.
Well, yeah.
Because
under normal circumstances, burning them does work.
Yeah.
In this particular instance,
not so much.
The main Deadite, no.
By the way, my Nicola had a problem with the main Deadite. She said it was too CGI for her, and I said, "What? I thought it looked fine. It didn't throw me."
No, it didn't throw me either. And besides, his skeleton
looks cool.
Is exactly what it'll look like.
Yeah.
In a fiery car crash.
Exactly, especially when you're upside down and trapped, and they probably have to get the jaws of life just to get your remains out.
Remember, humans are mostly water. Water tends to boil and go pop.
I loved it when a coroner told me, he goes, think of humans as human candles. We're just fat around a wick, meaning our bones. And he says, once it gets lit, it's hard to put out. Takes a lot of heat to start that, but once it goes, it's impossible to stop, right? I like too that I didn't realize it at first, but it kind of does make sense. I always thought Evil Dead Rise was a weird title, and Evil Dead Burn was a weird title, but it does make sense because Evil Dead Rise takes place in a high-rise building, and this starts off with a cremation scene. So I kind of do like that, that they're actually having a thematic, something themey to it, because I always thought Evil Dead Rise was kind of like a weird title at first. It does make sense now, but Evil Dead Burn.
Well, you could also argue that
it's time for them to rise up,
and then that Necronomicon Ex Mortis from Rise,
rose
again because the seal broke.
Exactly, yeah, the blood seal with the teeth. Which, by the way, out of all the Necronomicons, Evil Dead Rise has the coolest one. I know everyone likes the original, but the original does look like a little cheesy when you see Evil Dead Rise and you go, holy shit, that actually looks like a necromancer's book,
To date.
Exactly. I do like the one in 13 though, how it's like wrapped up in barbed wire and trash cans and then they write on it like, don't read this, like stop reading it right now. Whatever you're doing, stop, I thought that was really cool, but the one in Rise is hard to top. It is just so cool looking.
Without a doubt.
Okay, I have some fun facts here, but so I was talking about how this one kind of got a little pandered. This only has a 69 with critics and 79 with the people. I'm giving it a 92. We talked a little bit about it. What is Nick Noe, my spiritual animal, giving this?
I'm giving it a 94 because I don't remember what I rated Rise at, but it was high.
Yeah.
With Burn, the gore wasn't like all over the place like
No, it's not.
2013.
No, it's not.
But
it's done better.
It was done better, but the violence ratcheted up, and that's what got the higher score.
Also, too, I will say in all the movies, Evil Dead Rise, I thought could not be topped in the series with the cinematography. The cinematography in this movie is fabulous. Wait, we're at 20 minutes. It's fucking fantastic. Like, did you notice all the really cool camera tricks they did in this movie? For example, they did a one-take fight scene. You know when Joseph destroys his wife's head, and then Daddy comes in, and then but we focus on our main female protagonist. Sorry, I need to find her real quick. Alice, and then it's like the camera is set on Alice, and you see all this chaotic crap going around. But notice they don't cut once. It's a one, and it's like a good 3.5, 4 minute scene. And I was like, wow. You know, they couldn't have messed that up because they would have to reset everything. That was a very, very risky move. And I didn't see a lot of camera voodoo going on. I think a lot of that was practical, at least 65, 70% of it.
Easily.
And I mean, that scene right there, I was like, wow, this movie got just better, you know?
That fight quite literally destroyed the house.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, during that fight, did you notice they had the original, or a copy, rather, of the grandfather clock from Evil Dead 2?
I didn't catch the clock, but I do remember seeing a light that projected the Easter egg, the cheese grater.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah, I think it's when it went through the weed eater blade, right? Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got that too. I thought that was cool. There's a lot of Deus Ex Machina in this movie. Like, they set up a lot of things in the first act and second act that you know are going to be used later on. And you're just like, I wonder when they're going to use that. I wonder when they're going to use that. Like, for example, the candlestick in the beginning, I knew that was going to be used. I like how they pulled that off. And also the pocket knife. I knew they're going to do something with that. I thought something different. I actually thought the pocket knife, and I know this is going to sound like really cheesy, but I thought that the pocket knife was going to be actually the dagger, like remade into a knife or something, or reforged into a knife or something. Like,
I could see that.
Like, you know, the guy had it on him the whole time and didn't even know, kind of thing.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Out of the Evil Deads as a whole,
yes,
including Army of Darkness in the series,
mm-hmm.
what would be your most brutal attack that just made you, oh God?
Oh,
because in Rise,
yeah,
for me, cheese grater.
Yeah, I cheese grater for sure.
For this one, the one that made me, the pen.
Oh, I knew you were going to say the pen. I was going to see either the pen or the rebar at the end when it goes through her ankle. The pen was, because in the theater they had the high-pitched noise when it went to her eardrum. So it wasn't what you saw, it's what you didn't see, you know? It was
it made it better because when I saw it, I was directly in front of the speaker. So
oof. Oh, baby, that's deep. That's dark, man. I'm with you. When I saw the pen, and then later she has to pull it out, and it made it worse because, like, you saw it sticking out of her head for a good scene at least, you know.
And I have hearing issues, and it did not make me feel better.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking to myself, well, shit, I've been in metal bands, and I probably have better hearing than she does, but still. That scene got me. The other scene the one that got Nicole was obviously when little Max gets shanked. She was not happy about that, but it's not all for naught because it makes sense in the story that, you know, a Deadite would want a doggy companion, right? A little bit.
Well, I mean, you have a possessed dog, which is even more of a brutal attack.
Yeah, exactly. They missed something, though, that they should have done here. Missed opportunity. You know how the Deadites will return to normal to try to, like, convince you, to try to lure you, to seduce you? They should have had a scene where the dog becomes a normal dog that whimpers and tugs at your heartstrings. Just saying. That would have been good.
That would have honestly taken people out of the moment.
You think so? Because I think they already did that with Grandma going up on her little escalator thing. And I think the grandma scenes were almost a little bit too much. That's my big complaint about this.
Well, hear me out though. Because with the dogs, or animals especially in general, you go, okay, you kind of tune everything out and like, hey, are you okay? You instantly go to that. But with Grandma, okay, she's infirm. You just kind of, okay, whatever. Because adults are numb to a lot these days.
Okay, so I do agree with you, but I'm still saying like Pet Sematary 2 did it very well. With the dogs and animals being like nice and then evil and nice and evil. I think if they would have borrowed a little bit of salt and pepper from that movie, it would have just worked well. Because having the dog evil the whole time, it's like, well, now I don't care that the dog died. Like I kind of want to care that the dog, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you didn't. Oh, okay, seasoned Deadite fans would expect that to happen.
Exactly.
But everyone, while you're sucked into the movie, is not really concerned about Max, but you're more concerned about the dad. Oh,
by the way, so yeah, one of this movie does that I said is really great. It's tension building. This movie has a slow burn. No pun intended. Pun intended. Sorry, hold on. Added daha myself right there. Actually, you know what? That joke was terrible. I'm going to car crash it. But yeah, anyway, this has a very much more slow build up than, say, 13 or Rise. Rise is a freaking strap in. It is a roller coaster ride. 13 is a tension build and it goes right to it. This movie is a slower build. And I think it's because of some of the haha moments, like the crematorium scene is kind of a haha moment. I was like, come on, let's get to it. Like, what's going on? Like, when you have the guy doing his own, like, YouTube kind of like rap video to the crematorium. And then he's like, let me be with my son. Like that scene, I was like, okay. I did not like the beginning of this, the construction going on at the crematorium and they have to talk through it. I know they're building tension with the wife and everything, like she didn't plan a speech, and they kept focusing on the fact that she wasn't dressed for a funeral. She was wearing like Jordans that were purple and clearly not wearing all black. She was wearing looks like a nurse's outfit or whatnot. And I get why they were doing that, but at the same time, I don't know, it's just slower build, but it does pay off though. Because at the end of Act 1, when they're all sitting down for dinner, you could cut that tension with a knife. That is some Hitchcockian filmmaking right there.
Oh, very much. Because
when they start shuffling around the wine cork opener and shuffling around the knives and stuff, and something's going to happen, but you just don't know when it's going to happen. And also, the actor that hold on, I got my notes in front of me. Where is he? Edgar Price, played by Errol Shand? ERROLLSHAND. Anyway, wow, he's not credited in almost any other movie. Oh no, he's in a couple of shows though, but anyway. This was actually his lowest rated movie, believe it or not.
This has a lot of unknowns, which makes it better.
I love unknowns because I hate seeing when there's like 5 actors you don't know and 1 actor you know, and you go, oh, I know who's going to survive. It kind of ruins it for me. But another complaint, tiny complaint real quick before I move on, is I know you can't replace Ash. So that tells me that in every Evil Dead movie, it's going to be a female unknown protagonist who's going to survive. And I get it. That's survival girl rules. But I kind of wanted Joseph to grow a pair and actually walk out of this alive. Like at a certain point, like, when he kills his wife finally,
He did grow a pair
Kind of.
before he turned.
Yeah. But what I mean is I kind of wanted him to like boss up a little bit. You know, the reason why Evil Dead 13 is so good is because you don't think Maya's going to be the survival girl. You think it's actually going to be the brother. And then, you know, and I like the swerve. This didn't have a swerve. I knew right away who was living and who was dying. And that's my only complaint about it. That, and I thought it had a little bit of a slow takeoff, but it did pay off. So like I correct myself on that. But I knew exactly. And too, Nicole, my wife, she's like, I knew exactly who's going to be possessed in what order. And she guessed it exactly. So it is little
You could argue with that burn. It did have a slower burn, but it had a harder hit.
Mm-hmm. No, most definitely. And I really liked the environment. The house was perfect. You know, they haven't visited the house in a year. It makes sense for story. They got married there, but she's not happy with her marriage, clearly. So they haven't like took care of it or upkeeped it, even though Joseph was supposed to be the one doing it, which kind of didn't make sense because I thought it was anyway.
Well, he inherited the house from the grandfather, but the family just disappeared to the winds until the whole thing with the brother.
Yeah. What did you think about the because Evil Deads are now kind of, at least the last two, have been known for its opening credit shock value. I think that Evil Dead Rise had a better one with the whole drone and the girl, but this one was pretty cool with the two fishermen.
Ooh.
I mean, the one scene where the water's boiling and she steps on his foot and his hand just kind of like liquid. Dude, I went, oh shit. Like I verbally gasped.
Meat off the bone. I was really happy that it was the same lake, not that long separated from the events of Rise, or the beginning end of Rise.
Yeah, because the Rise and the end and everyone, if you've seen Evil Dead Rise, the beginning is the end, the end is the beginning.
And it tied everything into that, and then hard turn into the story for Burn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that too, and I asked when we were watching it, because we were the only people in the theater. I think there was one other person. I went to Nicole and I go, wait a minute, wasn't she the girl in Rise? Is this the same lake? And she goes, I don't think so. I could look on my phone. I go, don't look on your phone. We're in the theater. She goes, but we're the only ones here. I go, still, it's the rules.
And then, sure enough,
I think that Rise has the better beginning, but only so slightly. However, the fishing line scene when he pulls his friend out and he thinks he's okay, and then we realize that he has only half a torso, that was pretty cool. So, do you want to get in some fun facts?
I'm gonna give the beginnings a tie in that respect.
Okay.
Only because of the slight deviations.
All right. Such as?
Well, okay, you have the drone,
Mm-hmm.
you have the fishing boat.
Mm-hmm.
Same lake, different methods of water death.
Yeah.
Same theme, different tweaks.
I got it. I just really like how Rise, you see them going at the very end to the lake, and I like how that kind of loops together. You know what I mean? I really like how Rise puts a nice bow on it. But no, this one was way more gruesome with the boiling. If y'all ever had a first, second, or third degree burn, you know how fucking excruciating that is. Imagine it on your whole body. And like you said, meat on the bone. I mean, that those poor fishermen, man, they died probably in the worst ways. I mean, there's some stuff there. All right, I got some fun facts. You want it? But before we go into fun facts, we just rated it. Let's see what other people rated it. Okay, the two top critic reviews. Paul Nemiroff, Perry Nemiroff, sorry. 4.5 out of 5. That's pretty good. Every single kill, scare, scene in this movie is like nothing I've ever seen before. And on top of that, the director, Sebastian, has got an incredible eye as a director. I agree totally. I think that's a great review. And we both gave it, with our powers combined, we gave it a 93. So yeah, I agree with this. Dan Gillen, you should not ever, ever, ever review movies because this is the stupidest review I've ever seen. And here's why. When I say stupidest review, I hated it. It sucked. No, I mean stupid because listen to what this person wrote. 1 star. After a couple of hours of pummeling and dull sadism, you'll be pining for the days of Bruce Campbell throwing himself around with a chainsaw. This is why your review is retarded.
You don't understand the point.
Exactly. If you want to see Bruce Campbell, go watch Bruce Campbell. This is supposed to be an evolution of the series. It is not supposed to be John Cena coming out to save the day every single Monday Night Raw. It's supposed to be right? Nikki, would you agree with me?
I completely agree with you. This individual is... They're not connecting the dots.
No.
It's a forest for the trees with them.
Now, here goes another one and this review just made me sad, or it does make me question this person's movie collection. Like, for real, I think you should have to own at least 500 movies. To be a rater on Rotten Tomato, you have to have a podcast or a website or something, and you have to have a certain amount of viewers. I think it's like 4,000 or something like that. So I got my thing like last year when we had about 4,000. So I think it's 4,000. I think you should also have to own a certain amount of movies to be able to critique them, because I don't believe you actually like movies if you give this review. 3 stars out of 5. Rodney, no last name. So much potential, but it definitely was the weakest of the series thus far. What movie did you watch? How is this the weakest of the series? I mean, I give all the series 80s, 90s. I think every single movie in the series is 80s, 90s. Maybe Army Darkness I give a 79 just because it's kind of cheeky.
The whole premise with Army Darkness is camp.
It's It's Three Stooges and zombies is what it is.
With this person, it feels like they just went to see it because they had nothing better to do for the day.
But they said weakest in the series. What to me, if you say in the series, that means you've seen every single one of them multiple times. At least I hope.
Doesn't sound like it.
Okay, well, there's another Nikki here. Nikki gave it 3.5 stars. Evil Dead Burn is the meanest, most okay film of the franchise. The negatives. I have only a few negatives, and then they have a run-on sentence, and I'm not going to read it. Okay, then why'd you give it only that many stars? Anyway, I respect at least Nikki's review because at least they said, I have a few problems, but that Dan Jolin person going, I wish Ash was in it. Newsflash, Ash is not going to be in an Evil Dead movie. It's not going to happen. Stop praying for it. It's not going to happen. Now, does that mean he doesn't have a part in the making of it? Hell yes, he does. Ash actually... I don't know if you know this, Bruce Campbell actually screen tests with people before they're hired to do these movies, and also he's one of the executive producers. So, of course, he's got a hand in it, and of course, he wants it to be the best stuff ever. Like, you remember that one YouTube video? I played it on one of our other Evil Dead things where someone heckles the movie and he goes, "Get the fuck out of here." Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
He actually cares about it, and he really does. It's like his passion project. I mean... He is the legacy. I mean, when you think Chainsaw, you don't think Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You think Ash Williams. And you think Bruce Campbell. I mean, by the way...
Just like typically when you think Machete, you think Jason.
Yeah, and then you think Danny Trejo.
That too.
By the way, did you like how there was no chainsaw in this movie used, but teased?
Yes. For an Evil Dead fan... This had a lot of Easter eggs in it.
Yes, it did. You know what's funny, though? I'm glad they didn't use that chainsaw because it was electric chainsaw, and that would have been, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, kind of gay to use an electric chainsaw. I like it better that she used the fucking cement pounder. That was way cooler. All right. Time for some fun facts my wife wrote down. Now, remember, she is Asian, and her writing looks like noodles, so I'm going to do my best. So the director said that the Deadites in this movie were going to have their own aim and fighting style, right? Adding that they are smart, they're playing with you, and they're teasing the actors. And they behave like animals. I thought the Deadites in this were kind of more like 28 Days Later. You know what I mean? But with a little bit of intelligence.
I can see that, but I can definitely see the animal toying with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, think about it. In Evil Dead 13, they don't really run. They kind of just slowly talk to you and terrorize you right when they're about to kill you. In Evil Dead Rise, they terrify the shit out of you and do a lot of exorcism stuff. And in this movie, they're kind of like fast zombie. I don't want to say the word zombie, but do you remember Resident Evil on the GameCube?
Yes.
Do you remember the Crimson Heads?
Yes.
They remind me of that a little bit. Or like the Regenerators from, like, there is a lot more kind of Resident Evil like influence in this, at least to me.
Okay, hear me out on this. With the Deadites in this, it's not so much, okay, yes, they're clearly toying with you to really draw as much fear out before they horribly kill you. It was more, they're under a crunch, we've got to find this.
Cool. So dig this. I think it's Lucianl is the name. I think it's the makeup artist. It took 3 hours for every Deadite daily, and every Deadite has their own signature look, including contacts, makeup, everything else. It's not like a cookie cutter. I know this is kind of a thing in all of the Evil Dead is how much everyone loves these movies and acting in them, but the makeup chair is kind of where most of your part is spent. This was no different. I think the easiest person that was the grandma, because she barely had anything done to her, you know, and she was, but I mean, the dad in this movie, I forgot his name again. Oh my God.
Edgar.
Yeah, Edgar. When he takes that pistol and just starts going to work on himself, dude, that makeup was so good. I mean, I've never seen, because I mean, honestly, the only other movie that portrays bullet wounds that well would be like Block Hawk Down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there's really not that many movies where you actually see like what a Three Kings actually has a good description of it, but it was all CGI. You actually get to see what a pistol does at point blank range, and it is. I love it how he does the suicide pull and then the brain, like the against the head pull, and then he does the under the. Oh man, that part was pretty brutal. And then he goes, and then the dog comes over.
I did like the fact that Edgar couldn't get in the house himself. He had to be invited in.
Oh, I like that too. I really did like that. And that's that makeout scene. I told you that was so creepy. And it made that makeout scene more important too. Also, I like it how the director really made it, Sebastian, really made it clear that you could get possessed by saliva, scratch. Like he kind of gave it more science to it, if you will. I don't want to say science, but you know what I mean. Speaking of the demons and science, let me read this one last fact before we go on. I have some more facts too, but Sebastian didn't want as much blood as the other films. He goes, when I see it in movies, I'm not disgusted. it doesn't bother me. So I know movies like American History X, what you do not, I can't watch that scene anymore because it's what you don't see on screen. So I agree with him. Blood doesn't bother me either. It's kind of like this. So he wanted to create horror and not just bloody horror. You know, he says that, oh, blood doesn't bother me. And I agree with him totally because, you know, in some of the other Evil Dead movies, there's like bloodbaths and it's kind of like comical. Whereas this movie did not have that much blood. It was actually, but it had a lot of gore.
Now, I remember 2013 being drenched in it.
Yeah, that has the, I still think it has the Guinness World Record of the most blood ever used in a movie.
Now, I will say this much for Burn. If you've, I'm going to get personal here for a second.
Uh-oh.
If you've ever been involved in an abusive relationship of any sort,
Triggering.
It very much is triggering, and you can definitely see the signs, and all those signs were just under the surface. And once the deadites start appearing, they come out in force.
I was going to say there's another scene in this movie that I wasn't sure if you were going to go for the abusive relationship thing or this, but if you've ever been in a very evil car wreck, that is the best depiction of a car accident I've ever seen in my life. Like where your car rolls, which I have been in one, where I flipped a Mazda Miata off a 450-foot ravine. Sorry, it's not a dick showing contest. I'm not trying to outdo you or anything, but dude, I got a little bit of flashbacks when I saw that scene. I was like, holy shit, that is exactly what it feels like to be in a car accident. Like time slows down and you wind up and you're upside down. You're like, how the fuck did I get here? You know,
yeah,
and
those are the two those are the two pivot points in the movie.
Yeah. But I'm telling you that did bring me back to when I got my car accident like 20 some odd years ago. Like that because the way they film nature spinning, that's exactly what it's so great. Like they did it really well. So yeah, shout out to him for that. Was actually probably the scariest scene to me, just because like that can actually happen to you today, right now, you know, and it's actually happens more often than you think. That part actually did scare the shit out of me. By the way, one of the scariest parts of the movie is right after the car accident when the head goes, "We finally found you," and it does that smile, dude. How creepy was that?
Take us to your family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, Nicole put it in her notes. Look at this. This is the first time in Evil Dead history since the first film that a chainsaw is not used in the climax. Which, yeah. Because there's the dagger used, you know, and then the concrete buster. Because, yeah, they do tease the chainsaw, but the chainsaw does not come down when she pulls on the cord. So, and then we already talked about this a little bit. The post-credit scene features a shocking return of Eli Baxter? Anyway, from Evil Dead Rise, played by Alyssa Sutherland. And it's and she's still very much a deadite, meaning she survived going through that wood chipper thing. There you go. Alyssa Sutherland was interviewed, and she was kept completely in the dark about the rap scene until it was filmed. So she didn't even know she was going to be in the movie. And that's my wife's notes. Thank you, Nicole. Okay, I think we kind of already did, but I have two things to do. One is we got to rank this in the Evil Dead series. Where would you put this? Would you put this at the top? Would you put this at the bottom? We have 6 movies now. Where does this stand?
Okay, now let me ask you this. How are we rating it? Like from fucking awesome or from gore? What are we rating it as?
Okay, so from a cinematography standpoint, I think this is number 1. I think this has got way better cinematography. The chimney scene, great cinematography. The one-shot take, great cinematography. Just the scenes with Edgar outside with the dog and the camera is slightly tilted was brilliant direction. I think from a cinematography standpoint, this is number one. From a gore standpoint, I think that Sebastian's right. I don't need to see gallons and gallons of blood. If I see a pen going through someone's ear, that is horror enough for me. I think from a gore standpoint, this is number one. From a story standpoint, there's actually a backstory about the Necronomicon, about the family, the reason why they're targeted, this, that, and the other. I think from a story standpoint, a plot standpoint, I think this is number one. From a purely enjoyable, rewatchable movie, I don't think this is close. I think that this is probably number 3 for me. I think that I'll be watching Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 13 way more than this movie. Am I buying this movie? Hell yes, I am. If there's a special edition, I'm buying this opening day. If there's a metal box version, I'm buying it. And
speaking of, I was disappointed. I didn't see the washing machine popcorn thing at the theater.
I didn't either.
Segue for a second.
Okay.
If you take anything away from this movie, put your silverware point down.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, that's proper etiquette anyway. Oh man, that whole dinner scene. We still have some stuff to talk about. I know we're almost an hour in, but just saw this movie. It's still fresh in my mind. Still got a lot to talk about a little bit. So yeah, I would probably rank this right. I would probably put this in my. I'm not saying anything bad about any of the other movies, but I'd say if I could pick out of the whole series, I would put this right up there with Evil Dead 13 and Evil Dead 2. I'd probably put it right. Ooh, I'm going to get some hate for this. I'd probably put this above Evil Dead 2. As just a first watch movie experience, I think that.
Okay.
I mean, Evil Dead 2, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I know it's everyone's favorite. It can't be topped. I say, you know what? Movies are like wine. Whatever one's your favorite is your favorite. And with this, I will say that this is not. I think this is the most well done out of the whole series. I think it's the most.
Agree.
Yeah, I think with the gore, this. But I'm telling you, this is so shot beautifully. If you were to take out all the gore from this movie and just the shots, the way the camera works, and again that one take scene. Oh God. And it ends so well with him going through the wall and saying, "Find the dagger." The car scene where when Edgar finally goes crazy and kills his wife and he bitches out and doesn't actually defend his wife and he escapes. That scene was so cortisol level raising, and angering too. I hated Joseph. By the time of the end of this movie, I wanted to like him so bad because it starts off with him being this writer, and you think he's going to solve he doesn't solve anything. He's basically a dry vagina the whole time, and no one likes a dry vagina. You know what I mean? He's just not likable. Also, too, the way they set up Will in the beginning of the movie at the nightclub, I thought was a little much. I was like, guys, can you calm down? Jesus Christ, it's a birthday party. Why are we, you know what I mean? And I do kind of, I don't know. The beginning, my only complaint with this movie is the beginning. I think that it could have been, it's more tragic when it's sad. And I know he was supposed to be abusive, and we do see that throughout it. Did you get a little bit of Shining vibes, by the way, with the whole flashbacks and stuff?
I did a little.
Yeah, so did I.
Tell me, I want to see if you agree with me on this. When he was walking out of the burning house, did you get a little bit of a flashback to Constantine?
Oh, it's funny you say Constantine. I was thinking that, and I was thinking Halloween Kills, because how the burning house, how it starts off and it shows her, and then the camera rolls over. Again, the cinematography is amazing in this. The camera does the 180 degree flip. You remember what part I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah, she's on the ground, she's prone, and then we hear his voice, and the camera slowly does a 180 degree turn. And I don't mean horizontally, I mean vertically. And we see him standing there. And it gave me that I swear that must have been a callback to Halloween Kills. Probably the greatest horror scene in any slasher movie is the fireman scene. Everyone who's ever seen that movie will agree with me on that one. Still love that movie, by the way, to this day. So we got another Evil Dead coming out. Do you think they're going to wrap this up in a bow and kind of have all the characters together at once? And maybe we'll see Ash. Let's speculate a little bit.
I don't think so, honestly.
Oh, well, hold on. Are we going to see Sutherland again, though? Or is that just kind of a tease? Are we going to get Maya, maybe? I mean, what about it? Because there was plans to have Maya come back in a future Evil Dead movie.
I don't know. I mean, you got the Easter egg with her in the Jeep.
Yeah. And then, but remember, we had the Easter egg with Ash in 13. We have all these Easter eggs, all these post-credit things. It seems like either they're just being really good filmmakers and cock-teasing us, or they're going to do a Freddy vs. Jason thing at the very... Like, if they had a Maya, Sutherland, Campbell movie, and then also in this movie, you know, it looks like Alice is going to be a Deadite. Like, it... You have
Alice won't be the Deadite, but the girl that saved Grandma will be the Deadite.
No, because remember, Alice at the end, her eye turns. I don't know if you got that when she's smoking her cigarette.
I didn't catch that.
Her left eye turns like all red and weird looking when she's inhaling the cigarette when she's wrapped up in that blanket.
Well, you could also, I mean, head trauma.
True, but they had the music playing where it was like, uh-oh, what's going on here? Just saying.
You have a big question mark with Alex.
I do. Yeah, we have big. Well, I mean, we have big question marks everywhere. We don't have answers, but damn, is this a good movie? If you guys are listening and you haven't seen it in the theater, go see it, and definitely buy it when it comes out, because this is one of those movies I'm actually going to watch more than once. But like I said, I don't think I'm actually. Hold on. Is someone actually doing another Evil Dead Burn review right now on X saying Evil Dead Burn was just okay? Dude, we might have to jump in and raid this person. I'm a little upset. Someone's stealing my thunder, Nikki. What's going on? Be my spirit animal. Calm me down. I'm getting hot. I'm getting mad. Calm me down.
Leave it be for now.
I'm so tempted to jump in there and go, bitch, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Use the Deadeye in you. Delayed.
Okay. All right. I feel the chi. I repulse the monkey, just like heavyweights. Did you notice they threw us a swerve in this movie where they had a whole tool shed scene, and I swear something was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
But nothing like that was kind of cool that they swerved us. You know, because I'm glad that they don't just rinse, wash, repeat, and remake. You know,
I did like the fact that Alice started to read the words and then fuck this,
dude. Okay, all right, hold on, real quick though. So what this tells me is that someone read the words before, right? So
it would have had to have been Joseph.
That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing Joseph is the one that did it. Because remember, he's the one that in the very beginning of the movie who discovers who's got all the trash hidden, right?
Yeah, and he's been playing the audio recordings, so
it only makes sense that Joseph is the one that caused this, because it wasn't Alice.
No, it was definitely not Alice.
Because remember, it even says 4 words and she reads 3 of them. And she goes, not doing that. And then, but the evil's already here. So one's to think that Joseph, because in the very beginning of the movie, besides the fisherman scene, the second part, the second scene of the movie is Joseph trying to finish one of his 5 novels or whatever. And he discovers his grandfather's like hidden treasure trove with the daggers and such.
Yeah.
And
it's the dagger itself that calls it back.
So the evil probably was already released.
It still was, you could argue it was released from the events of Rise.
I was just about to bring that up. So that makes this and Rise directly connected, even though Evil Dead 13 isn't directly connected. That makes these 2 movies very connected, because at the end of Evil Dead Rise, you see the girl going off to the lake house party, and that's where the lake house stuff happens. And then that's where the fishermen find it, and that's where this movie begins. So we just piece it together, people. We just Sherlock Holmes that, I think.
Now, with the coming Evil Dead, I'm hoping personally that it'll be the trilogy, for lack of a better way to say it.
Yeah.
With the 3rd Ex Mortis.
So there is 3. Remember, we learned about that. I forgot. Oh God, we talked about this and
when we did Rise.
Yeah, when we did Rise. Yeah. So, and in a way, there is 3 series, because we have the Ash Williams version, which is 1, 2, and Army of Darkness. That wraps up with the show. And then we have Evil Dead 13, which is kind of a standalone in a way, the alternate universe, as you said. And then we have this series, which takes place in the Ash Williams universe, because he's a time traveler and says, don't read from the book. So that kind of means, in a way, that Evil Dead 13 is just its own alternative universe. However, Evil Dead Rise and Evil Dead Burn are part of the actual Evil Dead series. Does that follow?
It does.
And that means that the Jason Goes to Hell, which features one of the Necronomicons and the dagger, is either in the Ash series or it's in the Evil Dead 13 series, because the Evil Dead 13 series is not, from what we know, is not connected to the other. I can't believe we're doing this. We are solving life's problems right here.
I need to rewatch Jason Goes to Hell to see which Necronomicon Ex Mortis it is.
I think it's the one from number 2.
So that would put it in Ash's universe.
I'll tell you what, July 29th, 2 weeks from now, calendar weeks, 5 o'clock, let's you and I go over Jason Goes to Hell. I'm going to be skipping Manhattan, but that's okay. But I say we watch it in 2 weeks and reconfirm, and we could actually discuss this more, because I haven't seen Jason Goes to Hell in a while, and I remember last time hating it. But sometimes it's great to crap on a movie. We haven't crapped on a movie in a while.
No, we haven't.
No.
I will say this: we are in need of a rewatch of Event Horizon.
It's funny you say that. During Prime Week, I just got, and also Sam Neill and everything else, I got a special edition Event Horizon, and it's supposed to have some of deleted footage.
Ooh.
So I got it on Blu-ray. It's got the special cover where it just shows the Event Horizon coming out of the clouds, and it's got a thunderbolt. And we are actually going to be doing that, and you're welcome to join. Let's see, the 22nd. We're going to be doing that on the 5th of August. The 5th of August. So if you want to join me on that one, we could definitely do, because we have to do a rewatch, because Mr. Sam Neill did pass away at 76 or 78, and it was on my trigger anyway. And it's funny, I ordered it before I knew he passed away. And then when it came in the day he passed away. And I'm like, well, crap, this has got to be on there. So here's our schedule, guys. This is what we're going to be doing. Next week, the 22nd, we are doing Eddie Furlong's brain scan. Have you ever seen it?
I think maybe way long time ago.
Eddie Furlong is kind of got his own horror club. He's kind of a rich kid. He plays a video game and it hypnotizes him and he kills people. And yeah, Eddie Furlong from Terminator 2. The same Eddie Furlong. Yes. So that's coming up on the 22nd. On the 29th, we are going to be doing Jason Goes to Hell. And then on the 5th, we are doing Event Horizon. What do you say about that?
That sounds like a plan. I will try to make it for Event Horizon. That said, I will be in my crunch time.
Cool. Well, just try to make some plans for it. By the way, so we're going to wrap up the show, but I do have a midnight ramen to do. What are you doing for the next 30 minutes? Nikki, you want to join me on that?
I suppose I could.
Okay. Did you know what I was going to talk about? Because I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it.
Well, then we'll see.
Okay. It's Pokemon Red, Leaf Red, or Fire Red, and Leaf Green. We're going to go back 20, 30 years. Talk some Pokemon. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining the Knife Party podcast. Evil Dead Burn is still in theaters. Go see it. Oh, what happened to my mic? No. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Go see it, and we will be back in another week. And we'll be talking, well, actually, as you hear this, we'll be talking Brain Scan. But if you ever want to join us on these, remember, we're on X, or formerly known as Twitter, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can follow me at Father Hill, and you could be a part of these conversations, just like Nikki was. Nikki is at Patreon. You can be too. That's patreon.com/knifepartypod. We love you all. Remember, be ethical to each other. And I got to return some videotapes. Say bye, Nikki.
Goodbye, Nikki.